For a long time, Brazilian football fans have been calling Alessandro Ribeiro by one powerful nickname, the Tiger, a defender known for aggression, physicality, and fearless leadership at the back. Ribeiro was once seen as one of the most reliable defensive options for Brazil's future. But football is a brutal sport, and injuries have a way of changing everything. After spending a long period sidelined due to injury, Alessandro Ribeiro finally made his comeback, and expectations were sky high. Unfortunately, reality has been far from ideal. In his very first match after returning, Ribeiro received a red card, instantly raising questions about his match sharpness and decision-making. Since then, he has featured in 2 or 3 matches, but not a single performance has lived up to his previous standards. Most concerning of all was his latest appearance, where a clear individual mistake directly led to his team conceding a goal. Watching that moment, it became impossible to ignore the truth. Alessandro Ribeiro is struggling. His performances show visible signs of a confidence drop, frequent positional errors, mistimed tackles, and hesitation in critical defensive situations. The Tiger aura that once defined his game seems to be missing, and that raises a massive question mark over his chances of making Brazil's 2026 World Cup squad. If we look at Brazil's likely defensive lineup for the 2026 World Cup, assuming full fitness, physical sharpness, and no injury concerns, 3 names appear almost guaranteed: Éder Militão, Marquinhos, and Gabriel Magalhães. There is virtually no doubt about these 3 being locked into the squad. The real debate begins when we talk about the 4th center-back position, and that is where competition becomes intense. Alessandro Ribeiro, despite being a personal favorite for many fans and analysts, is now under serious threat because recent performances simply do not support his case. Ribeiro has always given his best whenever he wore the Brazilian shirt, and historically, he's been solid for the national team. However, football selection at the highest level is about timing, and right now, timing is working against him. Carlo Ancelotti, who is expected to shape Brazil's World Cup core, starting from the March squad, is likely to rely heavily on players who deliver consistency in these upcoming matches. Players selected in March will almost certainly form the backbone of Brazil's World Cup squad, and Ribeiro's poor run in his last 2 games could be the biggest reason for him missing out. His recent displays have been genuinely disappointing, even shocking, especially for someone once labeled as a defensive tiger. There is no trace of that dominance, no commanding presence, and no sense of authority at the back. That decline is alarming. Moving on to another name in the discussion, Fabrício Bruno is a defender who, frankly, has never inspired much confidence among fans. And personally, I share that sentiment. Fabrício Bruno is unlikely to be part of the World Cup squad, as his overall profile, performances, and impact do not match Brazil's elite defensive standards. His chances appear slim, and it would be a surprise if he makes the final list. Then we have Léo Ortiz, a player who enjoyed an outstanding last season. His performances were exceptional, season after season, playing a crucial leadership role as Flamengo lifted major trophies. Léo Ortiz showed composure, tactical intelligence, and defensive maturity, and he has previously represented Brazil at the international level. Despite all of that, the reality is harsh. His chances of making the World Cup squad remain very low. Similarly, Léo Pereira has been impressive for Flamengo and played an important role during their championship-winning campaign. His consistency and discipline were undeniable at club level, but international football is a different challenge. Léo Pereira lacks sufficient experience with the Brazilian national team, and that lack of exposure at the highest international level makes his World Cup inclusion highly unlikely. Now we arrive at the 2 names that, in my opinion, carry the most importance in this entire debate. The first is Bremer. The Juventus defender has been out injured for a long time, but since returning, he has been absolutely outstanding. Bremer is back in top form, showing strength, discipline, and confidence in every defensive action. Most importantly, recent reports suggest that Brazil's coaching staff are actively monitoring Bremer's performances. If his form continues, his fitness remains stable, and he stays injury-free, there is a strong possibility that Carlo Ancelotti will call him up for the March international squad, especially for matches against France and Croatia. Bremer, for me, is the best possible option for Brazil's fourth center-back spot. His defensive performances are extremely solid, but what truly separates him is his versatility. Like Éder Militão, Bremer can push forward, support attacks, create goal-scoring opportunities, and still recover quickly to maintain defensive shape. His ability to contribute both offensively and defensively makes him a complete modern center-back, and there is no doubt about his quality or impact. The final name on this list carries legendary weight, Thiago Silva. At 41 years old, age is the only argument against him. There is nothing else in his game that suggests decline. After leaving Chelsea and returning to Fluminense, Thiago Silva surprised many by making a move back to Europe, joining Porto, where he continues to perform at an impressive level. His leadership, positioning, and reading of the game remain elite. Thiago Silva's ambition is clear. He wants to serve Brazil one last time at the World Cup. If that opportunity comes, it would be one of the most emotional and surprising moments in Brazilian football history. His experience alone could be invaluable in high-pressure situations. There is also the name Lucas Beraldo, but realistically, his chances appear minimal. At PSG, he struggles for regular playing time, and without consistent minutes at club level, it is extremely difficult to earn a spot in Brazil's World Cup squad. When we analyze the situation objectively, the biggest battle is likely to be between Bremer, Thiago Silva, and Alessandro Ribeiro. Ribeiro once had my full trust, but since returning from injury, his performances have dropped significantly, and that decline cannot be ignored. Confidence issues, repeated mistakes, and lack of sharpness are dangerous signs at this level. Ultimately, the decision rests with Carlo Ancelotti, but the message is clear: form, fitness, and consistency will decide everything. So now the question goes to you, the fans. Who do you think deserves that crucial World Cup spot? Who should be selected? And who should remain as backup options considering potential injuries, suspensions, and card issues during the tournament? Make sure to share your thoughts in the comments, because this debate is far from over. Thank you everyone for watching, and don't forget to stay tuned for more deep analysis on Brazil's road to the 2026 World Cup.